and Benvenuti, fellas and fellas all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Boxing Off Brand. I'm your host, Papa Biz. Papa Rico has the night off tonight. It's terrible time for out there in New York, but we had a great panel, great option panel. Can I get feedback? All right, if anybody in the chat. So,
Yeah, you sound a little fuzzy.
You sound a little like you're underwater, Ralph.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stand by.
That sounds much better.
This is good. Yeah.
Better now? Are we good now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Gotta love live TV. All right. But y'all, welcome to the panel. We got Il Professore Gaetano Salazzo in the house. We got our main man, Francesco. We got Michele Scotti de Luzzo, Peter Scala, and a boy from Calcio Guys, one of three, Johnny. Johnny, I might start with you today because you are the half and half among the Calcio world between Roma and Twitter. But
he's the unicorn.
Right. I feel like I'm in a fishbowl right now. So yeah, no, you're the unicorn, Johnny. You're the half and half. But guys, everybody saw the game. Super emotional. Napoli at home at the Stadio Maradona draw Roma today and Jose Mourinho's men there 1-1, quite possibly just destroying our hopes for a Scudetto this season. We'll get into some predictions, players, the match, but some quick words, Johnny. I'm going to start with you for the aftermath, Napoli versus Roma. Coming out the gate, I was kind of confident. I thought, all right, we learned a hard lesson against Fiorentina. We regrouped, we reset. Luciano spoke to the boys. He did his little poetry bullshit and encouraged them to score goals and win games. What say you, man? How coming out the gate, Napoli? How'd they look? How'd you feel?
Well, I mean, I was surprised they didn't start off with Osimhen and Mertens. I mean, it's been such a great connection, those two up front. And it just didn't click in my head. I'm like, okay, Insigne, Osimhen, and Lozano. I mean, Lozano, if he wasn't for getting the foul in the box to get the penalty shot, I mean, I don't think he was that much influential in the front three. But I mean, that's something that irked me a bit. It's like it's a must-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mertens has been fantastic for the team. Maybe you believe that he's more effective when he comes off the bench. Probably that's probably Spalletti's way of thinking, but I don't know. I like his link up with Osimhen, so especially in a must-win game. And you knew going into this game that you have to not drop any more points if you want to stay in the race, especially with Inter's game in hand.
Right.
And it first half they did show that. They did show that off the gate. They were great. The mid three of Ruiz, Lobotka, and Anguissa was great. Locked down Roma's midfield, which is probably a very, very tough midfield to go up against. And they did their job right. And then come second half, the switch flipped. Roma was just continuing pounding. And
yes.
You can't keep an offense like that shut down for a long while. And
right. They're gonna make you pay eventually. I mean, any team is gonna make you pay sitting back, chilling. I mean, we'll get to the end of the game and some of the subs, but I'll start with. I will move on. You know what? Let's just go counterclockwise to Fran. I mean, Fran, did you have any doubt today about goals coming from Napoli, and whether it be or did you feel like Mertens should have got the nod to start today? And how did that make you feel when when the lineup came out, the official lineup, and you didn't see his name up there?
Yeah, I thought that Mertens definitely could have started tonight for sure. It seemed that the media in Italy were making it seem like that was going to happen. But overall, to be honest with you, when I saw the starting lineup, I was just happy to see Lobotka and Anguissa. That gave me a lot of confidence. And I actually thought going into the game we'd win anyway, since naturally Milan and Inter won their matches. So I thought, okay, we'll probably win now because they capitalized. And also, Lobotka and Anguissa playing together this season has been great. And it's kept the midfield really stable. And rarely have we lost a midfield battle when them two were starting together. Whereas other times the midfields looked imbalanced when them two weren't together, or we've lost the midfield battle, right? We've lost the battle in midfield. But usually with them two, we're almost guaranteed to win the midfield battle, which is where this game is won mostly, right? It's won in the midfield a lot of the times. But based on how the game played out, I definitely, especially the first half, I definitely would have liked maybe to see Mertens instead of Fabian, just because recently Fabian's form's been a little iffy. It's been up and down, similar to Zielinski, except Zielinski's been even worse than Fabian, because it's been for most of the season, if we're going to be honest, guys.
Right.
So especially with all the momentum that we were playing with in the first half, right? Like coming out of the gate, the quick, intricate passing. And I get that Fabian made some nice passes and we found Fabian in the hole, but I feel like Mertens taking the ball and turning, he has a little more, pace and agility to him. And I feel that with the momentum and the pace that we were playing with in the beginning, and also add the fans into that, right? The energy off them. I feel like a guy like Mertens would have been nice to have from the start, because we wanted to get at them in the first half, right? People were saying we should put 2-3 past these guys in the first half. Well, in my opinion, Mertens playing him in that 10 right behind Osimhen, especially like Johnny was saying, what we've seen them do together, he's also made Osimhen play better too. And Osimhen had an all right match today, right? I feel like if Mertens started, he probably, he could have performed better than he did. And I feel like he would have given us more of a threat to score more goals early on, so we could have put this game to bed early. Then you want to talk about Mertens aging, not being able to give you 90, whatever. Then maybe, we're up 2-3 in the 60th minute, 70th minute. Then you take him out and bring somebody else back on. But, overall, though, I got to say, just solely the fact that I saw Lobotka and Anguissa starting together, it definitely made me confident going into the match, I have to admit.
So Gaetano, moving on to you, I want to talk a little bit about Lobotka, because I remember you were pretty vocal in the chat about how when Lobotka went out, we kind of lost the balance of the team. If you can just elaborate a little bit about your thoughts about that, and then let's talk to the fans and what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to oversimplify what happened in the second half, because I think there was other stuff that went into it, but it's a pretty clear line of demarcation was when Lobotka came out of the game. We completely lost the midfield. We couldn't string passes together. We started playing random long balls. We weren't as strong defensively. He just gives such balance to the team as a whole that I think him coming off completely threw us off. And that combined with some iffy substitutions, to put it mildly, by Spalletti, who made us even more defensive minded, where I think we should have been more aggressive to try to finish the game off.
Certainly. Right.
I think those two things kind of, put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. It just wasn't good. Like the first half I thought was great. I thought my prediction was 3-0 before the game. I thought we were going to come out swinging.
I had the same feeling.
We played well the first half, and then as per usual this year, and we can get into our history a little bit later in the show, I'm sure, but we just kind of, like, when we're supposed to go for it, we start dropping back and we invite pressure, and we just let in goals, and it just kind of been our MO.
I'm a cagada solta, Daniel said. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thanks for coming through today. We're going to get this rant on the road, but we see a few new people here today, which is awesome. Welcome, Frank Pila. He says we can't keep bringing in a new manager every season, a season and a half. I agree.
I agree.
He's mad. So most teams will spend. This might be a whole nother episode, but I'll just say it anyway. Most teams will spend this coming Mercato. I'm worried Roma will overtake us, as Mourinho will spend, or Mourinho's bosses will spend. Gianluca, sad day. Sad day is right. I told Francesco in the chat, I was like, either this is going to be a good episode or it's going to be a sad episode today. And well, it's kind of sad.
You were saying either a hopeful one or just a
really dreadful one. That was my words, right? Hopeful or dreadful.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it certainly has dipped close to the dreadful. Vincenzo says we lost or drew almost every big game at home. Now, so my Michele, I'm going to bring that question to you, because you spoke a lot about how our point. I don't want to get into a coach debate quite yet. I think we'll probably save it for later in the show. But Did you expect a little bit more, and a little bit of your thoughts on Mertens as well, because you've been very outspoken about the Mertens case. I know I think everybody here agrees with that, but I want to hear from you a little bit because you're super outspoken, and what's the deal with Spalletti, man? What's going on?
So I mean, I'll start on Mertens. Okay, so yeah,
Sorry.
I'll start with Mertens.
Yeah, when somebody says we got beautiful faces, I got to put it on. I mean, come on.
Mertens. I read a stat this week. Mertens in the lineup with Osimhen, Napoli's averaging 1 goal from open play like every 30 to 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, the stat.
Okay.
I mean, that stat alone is just, it makes you question, like, why aren't we playing this pair more? And people bring up, 2 strikers. Spalletti doesn't like using 2 strikers, but Mertens is more than capable of playing the 10 behind Osimhen. He links up very well. He provides a lot of support in the attack with Osi that, when he's not in the match, that it's not being provided.
Right.
That's and the thing is, yes, okay, so Mertens is older. We're looking at the whole contract renewal situation. What are we saving him for? It's dire, like, do or die situation. If he can't play 90 minutes, play him for 45, 55 minutes. If he's dead at half, take him off at half. But why are we not using him to come out and put our foot on the throat? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are we not coming out with that killer instinct and like taking it to these teams? We let them hang around, and then we make, subs. Something happens with our luck. Lobotka gets hurt, and boom, Lobotka gets hurt, and we didn't capitalize on the situation where we should have been up 2 or 3-0. Now it's 1-0. Roma's right there in it, and they capitalize to equalize and steal a point.
It's like there was one point during the second half. My brother and I were watching a game, and I was sitting there, and I was like, 1 goal is not going to be enough. There's no way. There's no way Roma's not scoring today. Zanola's been all right, but he still is getting used to all this playing time. You got Moret back in net, who really hasn't played a solid game almost all year. Definitely not this second half. You had defenders last game who, I'm sorry, that was the worst defensive performance we had all season, despite having one of the best defenses in the league. They just didn't have it last game. So it was like, was that in their head for this game? I don't know. And then you throw into the mix that what's going on with Spalletti and Mertens, and one has to question what the hell's going on. And this is where like those conspiracy theories start, right? It always like these theories start popping up every time we start seeing things like this. Peter Scala, I remember when we had La Familia episode, like the beginning of the season, and there was we were all asked about what player has to produce this season, and your answer was Zielinski. And I was there with, obviously Victor, obviously Insigne, but Zielinski playing in that role, we needed much from him, and I don't know, we haven't seen it as much, which begs the question of, well, why don't we give Mertens a spot every now and then? What say you on Zielinski's performance so far? I know he came in the second half today, but did that even make a difference?
He has been pretty bad all year. He's always been a little bit inconsistent, but it's definitely trending downwards. The problem is, though, I'm probably, I guess I'm the only one here that doesn't think Mertens should start from the start. I think you put him in. I prefer to sub him in like the 55th minute, 60th minute, somewhere in there, just because I don't think he has the legs for a full 90. And especially when you have 2 people like Victor and Lozano today who started, who have the pace, your thinking could be with their pace, hopefully the defense is a little bit more tired, so somebody like Mertens could be more effective. Now, his Spalletti's seemingly stubbornness to not even give the Osimhen Mertens starting combo a try is pretty. It's starting to become unjustifiable. Like my opinion aside, like you're the coach, you need to win this game. Why not throw everything at the wall? And especially like with the game you had last week, you didn't capitalize on anything, and they still, again, since take the Lazio game out, 2-1. When's the last time Napoli won a game where they needed to capitalize? I can't remember, especially at home. The Maradona used to be a fortress. Chelsea shit their pants against us. And a team that is I think undoubtedly worse than at least on paper, the Napoli team today. But teams like Fiorentina, Roma, like they can come in here and beat us. It's unacceptable.
Right. I totally agree with you there. I mean, everybody agrees with you there. The fact that, like, especially renaming the stadium Stadio Armando Maradona, and now it becomes this place where, you don't fear, and fear in a sense, obviously not life threatening, but you're gonna come in there, you're gonna get the whistles.
Used to be a little bit of that too.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe we should bring a couple knives back into the stadium, but let's throw some bombs somewhere.
Couple shankings never hurt anybody. Come on, guys.
Yeah, let the ultras stand in the seats again. It's fine.
Yeah, let's throw some M80s out into the field.
Yeah,
see what
start
happens.
punching people in the face.
Right. I love when Gaetano does that. No, but yeah, man. I want to read Jonathan Besford. Hey, man, good to see you again. The biggest mistake for me was game Spalletti taking off Osimhen. His pace and directness was causing so much trouble for the Roma defense. Now, number one, yes. I just feel like Osimhen has been on this island all alone by himself, getting beat up all season long, while our wingers are just chilling somewhere. I don't know, having a cigarette, having an espresso in the midfield. I don't know. But Frank Pila says Lozano finally played a half-decent game and got pulled. Or played half-decent and got pulled. And I think this is something that we're missing here, because in my opinion, it not only does Mertens feed Osimhen. Remember when Mertens was feeding Lozano when they were on together and Lozano getting a bunch of chances? We missed that too. I mean, Fiorentina, Mertens comes out onto the field and immediately scores a goal. It was from Insigne to Osimhen to Mertens, goal, tucked it right into the corner. And we almost came back and tied that game. And it was like almost when Mertens comes onto the field. But we got this guy Lozano on the right side. Johnny, he's been catching a lot, Lozano, lately. We've seen some great performances of last season. Maybe not so much this season, but this game, do you feel like he should have been the dude this game? Maybe he should have been the one to take Napoli to. Do you think that Lozano was there to give Roma all this trouble and maybe scoring a goal? And why does he get taken out and not getting more chances?
I mean, I have to agree. Last year, he obviously improved towards the end, but I think ever since this year, when he made those comments about, or his agent, was it himself or his agents making the comments that he wants to move on to bigger and better things? Like, I think ever since then, it's been a little bit shaky for Lozano on his front. And I just feel like as if everybody has become a little bit more critical on him because of those comments. Because like, okay, well, if you're going to say that you're going to want to go to a bigger team, at least play like as if you deserve to play on a bigger team. And it's just, there's games where it's like, like I'm just quickly looking at his stats here, like he's got one assist in the past, 8 games? Like it's not something to be like you're getting starting time. At least play like as if you deserve it. I'm not saying you have to score every game, but kind of like the point that you brought up before, support Osimhen. He's on an island. At least give him something to work with, I forgot who, I think maybe it was somebody here, but somebody shared basically the game before where there was just that open space for Lozano to just perfectly pass it. And he decides to run over. Thank you. I knew it was one of you guys. I just couldn't remember who it was. And it's just like, it was perfectly open space. And it's like,
arrows.
Right?
The arrows. Yeah, the arrows last episode. Right.
But in all seriousness, I mean, he does get a lot of heat. Today, he probably played half decent, but like I said, that like if he's not running in the box, being that threat using his speed, we're going to get that penalty shot early on.
Right.
You know, like because he was way ahead and he forced Ibanez to make that mistake. Was it Ibanez that got the foul on him, or was it yeah, it was Ibanez that got the foul on him.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah. You know, mind you, he's got a tough side to fight against. Zalewski for Roma has been very good ever since Mourinho started using him. So,
Right.
But nonetheless, we need him to we need him to be a big game player. And prior to Osimhen, he was the biggest transfer. You know, like the Napoli purchased, and I think that also gives so much pressure on him from the fans because if you're going to be the biggest transfer, you got to show why you were the biggest transfer in.
Right.
I think this game, okay, fine, doesn't deserve too much criticism, but still, it wasn't one of his big games, and I think he's just phoned it in. To be honest with you, I think he's probably just like, okay, well, at this point, it's too much of a mountain to climb to get to the Scudetto, so let's just phone it in, try to get top 4, and then from there in the summer, he's probably looking at other options.
Right. But here's the deal, man. Come on, like yeah, I know. There's only one team here.
I'm on a Napoli podcast, guys. If I'm on a Napoli podcast, I'm gonna have to say we for Napoli.
Johnny's like the ambidextrous fan, you know.
But I deserve this.
He's like a switch hitter. Yeah.
No, he's the only one that's happy about today's result.
Actually, no. Okay, I'll say it live and I'll be straight up. Okay,
go ahead.
Because Napoli's actually fighting for the Scudetto, I would have rathered a Napoli victory over a draw. To be honest. Oh, okay. Now you're gonna put me.
I full screen you. I full screen you for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't lie. I wanted a Napoli victory because of the Scudetto. Because I mean, I saw Roma win when I was 8 years old. I mean, like I've never seen Napoli win in my life. I would like to see one of my two teams at least have success, you know. So
right.
You know, it
must be nice.
But besides that, like, you know, it's. I mean, a draw, cool, but it's nothing. It's not good for either team. It's not good for Roma, and it's not good for Napoli because Roma doesn't gain much ground on Juve for top 4, and Napoli doesn't gain much ground for the Scudetto. So a draw is actually not a good scenario for either team. Okay, I'm screen recording this.
You got to screen. Yeah, it's that now it's official. Now it's official because Johnny said it here on the rant. But so guys, now I want to go back to Gaetano's point a little bit about Lobotka leaving the field. Let's kind of like work our way back. We said our piece about the forwards. We said about, you know, the lack of Mertens. I think, you know, there's no point in keep talking about it because we've been saying this now for weeks. But Lobotka leaves the field. Now, you know, Anguissa coming into the season was like a superstar. I mean, his first game in, he made beast of the match. His second game in, almost beast of the match. And his third game, almost beast of the match. I mean, I actually had to like just give it to other people to switch it up because I just didn't want to give it to the same guy 3 weeks in a row. But, you know, we brought in this guy to help us defensively. Why, you know, Lobotka leaves and all of a sudden we're lost? Well, like we barely even had Lobotka. We didn't even have the same Lobotka last season. So, Fran, I guess, yeah, or if anybody wants to chime in, Pete, whatever.
Sorry. In my opinion, I mean, with Anguissa, obviously, I love him. He's great. But
sure,
Lobotka does a much better job of linking, especially with the way Napoli like to build from the back. He does a much better job of linking defense, midfield, and attack. Anguissa is great, but that's not linking up the defense to, you know, offense isn't really his game. So that's why you miss that with Lobotka. And Fabian, in the past, I've seen him kind of be able to do that as well as Zielinski, but Zielinski's been useless this year, and Fabian, he's becoming like a 3-point shooter now. He just stands outside the box, shoots the ball, and hopefully it goes in.
I might go back to my hating Fabian days because I just not sure how much I don't know if it's because tactics or coaches or what have you, but
just watch the Lazio just watch 2-1 Lazio again. You'll fall in love every time.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I hate that shit though, because it's like then people get away with murder because of this one nice thing, you know. But I mean, I think he's very capable of scoring goals. I think he's very capable. I want to see him taking more shots, but the reason why I bring up Anguissa at times is because I feel like as if Anguissa is moving forward and Fabian is staying back. And we keep saying that, well, Anguissa was supposed to stay back so Fabian can move forward. Fran, do you see that? Or is it just like maybe I'm delusional? I don't see Fabian moving forward and Anguissa staying back. I see the opposite. And I don't think Fabian is very good defensively. I'll be honest. I think he's shit on the counterattack. And I think he's like so helping the back line. I don't think he should. I mean, I know he has to do it, but I'd rather Anguissa do that. And if Lobotka is out, and I say, and yes, I think he has the good dribbles. I like the way he can connect with the midfield. I agree with Peter there, but I thought Anguissa was supposed to be this guy. You know, he was supposed to be the better version of Bakayoko last year. Somebody like a pillar in the midfield to help the back line. He was that in the beginning of the season. I'm starting to see different things. Ever since he got hurt and came back, I'm seeing a different Anguissa. What say you?
I say that I agree with you, Biz. Ever since
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Ciao.
that's it.
No, keep going. I'm sorry.
Nah, no worries. Yeah, I agree. Ever since he got hurt in the Inter match, he's definitely been off the pace a bit. I think that he's gotten better since when he first came back, because when he first came back, he was super rusty. But I think it's really evident that our best midfielder right now, and our midfielder who's been our best midfielder for some time now, is Lobotka. Like he's a few steps above everybody right now.
Sure.
In my opinion, I really don't think anybody is close. I mean, Zielinski is further off than the other two, Fabian and Anguissa. He's just been, he's been woeful, man. I have no idea, but Anguissa has been far better than Bakayoko, in my opinion. It's unfortunate today that on the tying goal he didn't track back.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. Just for the record, I'm not saying that Anguissa and Bakayoko are on the same level. What I'm saying was that Bakayoko was kind of what he was supposed to be, that guy. He failed. Anguissa comes in, became that guy. We just don't see that anymore. So, for the record, I think Anguissa is better than Bakayoko any day of the week. But I'm just saying the second half of the season, I don't see the same beast in the match that I saw in the beginning. So I just want to let's just set the record straight. I'm sorry to interrupt you. A few people in the chat were
no worries.
Go on. Yeah.
No. So again, yeah, Zielinski's been pretty woeful, like far more woeful than Anguissa and Fabian. But Lobotka's been a step above the rest, guys. It's that simple. He's been our best midfielder in almost like all aspects of the game. And like I was saying before, yeah, Anguissa didn't track back on the tying goal, and it definitely costed us. I mean, he was before the midfield line to when the ball moved to the top of the 18 into the 18, and he was at like the top of the D. Yeah, I don't know. He was just dead weight basically. Zielinski fell asleep on the goal too. Completely fell asleep. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I really don't know what the hell this guy's been doing, to be honest. He's really pissing me off lately. And it's a guy that I really respected and rated highly. I still do, but yeah, I don't know. And another thing that I don't understand too, back to your point, Biz, is there were some games this season where Fabian's had 4 or 5 shots on goal, or clear, looks at goal.
Right.
And games where he doesn't even get one look.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's going on there?
No, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I have
guys. Does any open participation here? Can anybody explain this to me? Because I'm baffled. I'm baffled as to why this keeps happening.
Because anybody, it has to be a coach thing.
Well, no, I disagree.
Gaetano?
Listen, the game dictates how the midfield is going to play. If the team is pressing, or if the team is making Fabian play back or not be as aggressive going forward, then he can go forward. Plus, we think of these guys as robots. Fabian is not in form. Zielinski's not in form. So they can't push so far up the field because then they can't track back. So when Fabian was scoring his goals and playing much more, I'm not baffled. Much more.
I know what Joe's gonna say.
He was in form, right? He was able.
We played 4-3-3 today, Joe. What happened, Joe? 4-3-3. You got your wish, Joe. What happened?
4-3.
I love you, brother.
4-3 is our best formation.
Love my brother, but
it's our best formation. But anyway,
go on. Yeah.
So I think form dictates how far forward our midfielders are pushing and who's pushing when, and I also think the way the teams play us dictates who's pushing up and who's not.
But Gaetano,
why the guy knows he doesn't have his legs? If he knows he doesn't have the legs to go back, to be a box to box, he's just not going to do it.
But why is Zielinski out of form?
I don't know. I'm not there, but he had a great first half, and then something's happened where
he got hurt, and then he get COVID.
Completely fallen off.
got COVID.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what they do with COVID.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
not the
that
same player.
dude got. I think he got really affected by that because
Yeah.
we saw after he came back from COVID last season, like he had trouble breathing, man. I don't know if that's still something he's dealing with it. Obviously, they're not going to talk about it, but
I was
God
actually
damn.
gonna, I'm looking at Vincenzo's comment. I was actually gonna say that. He wrote it's the change in formation.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's alluding to Fabian
Let,
playing.
let me read it for the viewers and all our audio listeners because we have some people here audio. Vincenzo Patillo says it's the change in formation. At the start of the season, Fabian and Guiso formed a great partnership in the midfield too. Now they're playing wider to accommodate Lobotka in the middle.
Yeah, I was gonna say that today I saw so many times Rui, Insigne, and Fabian with these little triangles out near the touchline. And yeah, that's great and all, but it would be really nice to see Fabian central and closer
There's
to
no other
goal as
options.
well,
Coming.
where
Right.
he was getting more looks, earlier this season. I
Yeah, but
remember, I think
with three in the middle, you should have more freedom to go forward. So it's kind of, it just like I said. I don't know. Go ahead, friend. Go ahead.
no, yeah, I'm not even saying that because of the formation, like coaching wise, he's being restricted. I'm just saying that I did notice Fabian like wider way more than centrally, which I don't understand at all. Like against Bologna, I think he had can't even remember how many threatening shots he had, and I'm pretty sure he had a brace that game when we beat them 3-0, or maybe not a brace, but he had one, but he could have had like 2 or 3. But even though our wingers were underperforming, even in the beginning of the season, Fabian was that outside threat outside of Osimhen, and now it's like we don't even have another threat besides Osimhen. So now he's taken out of the equation.
Right.
I mean, even I think half of Fabian's problem is he's just too slow. He doesn't, even when he's running, it seems like he doesn't have an extra gear to be able to go. And with the way Napoli, I will give they play a lot faster under Spalletti than they did with Gattuso.
Yeah.
And so I think we're starting to see, that catch up where he's too damn slow.
Well, he's gone. He's gone after the season anyway. So
at least we got like 56.
Fabian?
Yeah.
Fabian?
Yeah.
Is what it is. I mean,
he's getting a lot of interest too. Yeah.
Michele, what's your opinion on the matter in the midfield? I mean, I have mine. I'll express it after you, but what's in your head right now?
So I think with the emergence of Lobotka and the style of player that Lobotka is and what he brings to the pitch, I feel like some of the other attacking midfielders aren't. It's affecting their play. Zelensky for the most, I think he affects Zelensky the most. It's almost like Zelensky is playing out of position for him. Like he's having to play wide. Lobotka's taking up that middle, the middle of the pitch. And I can't remember who. It might have been Dom. I can't remember who. I was watching a breakdown, and it was basically talking about how, Lobotka is really affecting Zelensky's form because where Zelensky's most effective and how his style, it's, with Lobotka being the guy. Like Lobotka has cemented himself as the guy in our midfield right now. That it's really kind of affected a couple of the other midfielders that are more attacking. But
why though? I mean, isn't Lobotka supposed to be the CDM?
Yeah, but Lobotka's. I mean, he moves up and he's taking a lot of that central space where Zelensky typically operated. So last year, Zelensky was. I mean, he mainly operated central.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of the second striker.
Yeah, he operated in the 10 where Lobotka is kind of, he's taking that space as that central midfielder, and the other two midfielders are sitting out wide.
Oh, I don't know if Lobotka doesn't go nearly as forward as Zelensky did last season, at least.
No.
And take you out.
But I don't know. I do think, as somebody said in the chat, he against Empoli he only lasted 15 minutes because he had breathing problems, and I don't think he's been the same player since. You can't blame him for if that's the issue. Like you can't blame him for that. It is what it is. But with his underperformance and Fabian's underperformance, it just becomes more of a clear issue.
Well, so Gaetano will return in a moment. He just has some technical things to fix up. But see, this is my opinion. You know, Lobotka obviously is a brand new player this season. You know, I want to read out a comment. I think it's kind of cool. But Daniel DeLeo says, if Lobotka was this good last season, Gattuso would have not been sacked. Now, I will say this much, without going into, again, the big coaches debate, but Gattuso, part of the weakness in Napoli was that midfield and how we got counterattacked and how we couldn't support the back line. He did not have the Lobotka that we have this season, nor did he have Anguissa. All right. And
Exactly.
Deme, he's kind of a liability that, like, you don't know when he's going to get in trouble or not, when he's going to come into card issues and all that. So, you know, I think he would have been sacked anyway, but I do agree that Gattuso did not have the same players in Lobotka and definitely Anguissa because he wasn't signed to to help him out there. So
well, according to Lobotka, but according to Lobotka, wasn't that he didn't like Gattuso? Gattuso didn't like him, so that's
right
for that. And also,
but can you blame him? Can you blame Gattuso? Like, he was completely out of shape. The guy was a meme last season. Now he's like Lobocop. You know, now he's the man.
Maybe he just needed a coach that believed in him. I mean, I don't know.
But Lobotka got in shape before Spalletti. I mean, Lobotka got in shape in the offseason on his own.
That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like I think
Lobo marked them, bro.
He put on the COVID pounds, and Gattuso held it against them, and maybe he's sensitive little bitch, and he couldn't come on like
he put on the COVID-15,
right?
Lobo bitch.
That's true. I had like COVID-25 up in here, but but for real, I mean, Gattuso held everybody accountable, and the team loved him. So if Lobotka had a problem with it, I think that's Lobotka's problem. Like, let's keep it real.
ADL was going to fire. Didn't ADL say he was going to fire him regardless? So it's
Gattuso, yeah, but just for shits and giggles here, like it's come on, like he was holding people accountable. Lobotka was shit. We always get rid of Lobotka last season. Now we're like, oh my god, he's the best player. Oh my god, our team can't perform without him. So
I can't tell you how sad I was when I was at Napoli Lecce and he started. I was
and we were all really angry about it because we wanted Lobotka to be that, because you mentioned it before. We wanted him to be that CDM, and that's why we went after a guy like Anguissa to play that role. And because Lobotka wasn't showing signs that he was going to do it, so obviously you make a move to cover your bases, and then all of a sudden Lobotka drops the weight, he gets in better form, and he starts off the season on a high. So then it creates that whole topic oh crap, it's another Lozano and Politano debate. Yeah,
right? It's Moretto Spina debate, right? We had so much duality in this team lately, right?
Yeah, but we like our midfielders.
We like our midfield. We like everybody. I mean, it's Napoli, hell. But
you're good. You have two good options. It's like, who do you start over? That's what I mean. In terms of.
And I don't even think Lobo really. He didn't come out the gate this season because Anguissa really filled that role, and Fabian Ruiz was getting the starting nod to kind of be right next to him. So it really wasn't until, I'm not sure if it was.
Well, he was really
He
was really good in preseason, and then he got hurt.
Yes, but Anguissa was starting most of the games. Lobo was still on the bench.
Lobo got hurt. Yeah, Lobo got hurt.
All right, maybe I forgot it a little.
Yeah, he got hurt, I believe, against Genoa, and then they literally brought in Anguissa 5 minutes before the Juventus game.
That's right. Sorry, I stand corrected. This is why I love you guys. But fine. So let's just pretend I didn't bring that up.
Lobo was starting from the beginning. Yeah. I gotta be honest. I don't know if any of you guys, what you guys think of this one, but Lobotka, especially today, kind of showed that he's the only midfielder that's got the legs to go box to box. I wonder if over the summer he works on finishing a little bit and does that and adds that to his game, and then becomes a box to box guy next year and a threat, maybe making runs from behind the play into the box. I don't know.
What we have with him. I think that's asking a lot.
Carmelo says, "Remember when Demed was our number one midfielder?" God,
I do remember that.
I can really watch the guy now. He was okay. He was, I think he had a lot of energy.
In the beginning,
tough
he was
in the
like our best
beginning.
one.
But
Yeah.
it must be so hard for these guys to have to sit on the bench and watch the game and maybe get no playing time. And, even like a guy like Zanoli, who Spalletti has the vision for, but gets no minutes until Di Lorenzo, who's been an absolute machine, gets hurt, and now you see him starting. But I can't imagine how hard it is for a coach to really balance all this and what's their game plan and what does it look like. But let me ask you guys, like, I don't know. I think, do we blame ADL? Does ADL have any blame in this? Because I know people want to kind of talk about it.
Yes.
Of course, like, right. So I mean, yeah, everybody's all right, fine. Because
I don't
every
know.
time
I lean towards the other end, but that's
I do too.
There's no-
I'm with John.
so okay, so it's 3-2 yes to no, right? Is that right? Or no to yes, rather, right?
Correct.
like he does deserve some critique, but I wouldn't say that he's the full blame for this. I mean,
I don't think full blame, but like a decent amount, yeah.
yeah.
The coaching carousel is on ADL. This new coach
Yes.
every
Yes.
16 months.
I'll give you that.
That
I'll
is
grant you that.
Yeah. He shouldn't have fired Gattuso.
Wait, hold on. So
No.
let's hold on. So Sarri left on his own, right? Because Adiel wanted to keep him. So Sarri decided he wanted to go
Yeah,
and
but
make money.
Sarri wanted more money.
Right. So nothing you could do there. Then he
Give
brings
more
in
money.
what he brings in, arguably one of the best coaches of our time, right? Ancelotti.
Mhm.
Doesn't work out. It's mutiny. What is he supposed to do? He probably kept him too long.
Yeah, his
Right?
son
Probably
should
kept
have
him too long.
Thanks.
Right. Then he brings Gattuso to fix the locker room issues. Then Gattuso and him don't get along, so Gattuso leaves, and now he brings in like, what do you got? What do you want? He's not like going out firing coaches. What do you got?
I know, but it's not just the coaches; it's the players. There's a lot of players throughout Napoli's history have had issues.
I want an
with-
Italiano too. For the record. I'm
I-
not a Spalletti
yeah.
guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of players have had issues with ADL. I mean, Cavani said he would never play for Napoli if ADL was the owner. It seemed like during I have family in Naples, so they and all people do in Naples is talk. And apparently, for a while, everybody but Hamsik hated ADL. I don't know if that's true or not, but if he's like, he's just very divisive, and if that's what you're bringing, like, where the people who play for you hate you, like, that's a problem.
Bro, but he's never really around the team. Like, he's not like at training. He pays the players well. Like, he's increased our wages tremendously. He buys players when he needs to buy them. Like, is he perfect? No. Does he have a ton of money? Not as much as Juventus, Inter, and Milan. But dude, I want to win the Scudetto as much as everybody else. I'm 37. I remember Maradona vaguely, the second one, right? So I want to win as bad as everybody else. But we gotta take a step back. We are in contention year in and year out. Besides the last 2 years, and I get he's not perfect. He makes mistakes. He rubs people the wrong way. But as far as owners go, man, I mean, listen, I'll take him every day of the week and test on Sunday. That's just me.
I was going to say that. And how many times, how many situations have we been in the past, few seasons where if we win the game, we could go on to win the title, or if we win, we're still in contention.
We don't.
It's not coincidental in my opinion. It's more on these players just being a bunch of pricks and not being able to get over the last hurdle in the big game. You got to be kidding me. In my opinion, it's on them more so than ADL, because he gives you what you need. He gives you what you need, and it's proof because even after we missed Champions League, right? We were only out of it for 2 years. Look at a team like Arsenal. Look at the history and the amount of money that they bring in and how much longer they've been out of the Champions League than us. We've rebounded way quicker than them, and they have way more money getting pumped into that squad, that club in general. And on top of that, again, you can't be in these situations over and over again, and it's it's luck. It's not luck. At this point, we're a legitimate team in the Italian league, obviously in the Serie A, and I think that has a lot to do with the way ADL's constructed the team over the years.
Yeah. So I go on, Michele, please.
So piggybacking off of what Gaetano said, right? and Ralph knows this. I've been a big pro ADL person.
Yep.
When a lot of people have hated on ADL, I stood up for ADL. This year is the first year I've ever kind of been like, ADL, man, what are we doing here? Because in my opinion, and obviously everyone has them, you know what I mean? Everyone has their own opinion. The move to Spalletti just didn't make sense. Moving off of Gattuso last year didn't make sense to me unless you had the home run higher. You know what I mean? Unless you had someone that was, light years above him. And this has been, we can say what it is. ADL pretty much ran Gattuso out because I feel like, and this is, like I said, just my opinion, ADL wants a yes man. You know what I mean? ADL doesn't want someone that's going to be against the grain when it comes to what ADL wants. That's where I think Gattuso and him butted heads. But the thing is, the coaching, like bringing up the coaching carousel, right? The switch from Gattuso to Spalletti is lateral at best.
Right.
So we're sitting 1 point ahead of where we were last year, with a worse goal differential by like 4 or 5 goals. We're sitting in the exact same place at the table, third place. The difference between, and every season's different, like Atano said before, every season is different, the situations, the circumstances. But if you look at Serie A this year, Inter got massively worse, like 8-9 points worse. The other drop was from teams 4 through 8. If you look at last season, going into like the last 2 match days, the team in 7th place could have finished 2nd if the cards, happened the right way. Like that's how tight 2 through 6, 7 was.
Right.
This year, you've got the top 3 that are pretty much, they're secure and champions, knock on wood.
Right.
And then you've got fourth place, who's also looking pretty good. And then after 4th place, it's a massive drop. You're talking like 8 to 10 point difference from last year to this year. So, what did we brought this instability, right? Why add that instability another year with a new coach that has new philosophies? Our wingers all of a sudden, who were the best wingers in Italy and scored the most goals and had the most assists, now all of a sudden they're glorified left backs and right backs. We're playing a freaking 4-5-1.
Do you think? I think like almost as like ADL. Because you can tell with Spalletti trying to play it safe all the time now. The goal
is 4th
clearly
place.
is to win Champions League. Now that's not my that's not even my opinion. ADL said it himself. All right, so what do they say when it comes out somebody's mouth or whatever?
The horse's mouth.
Come out the horse's mouth. Thank you, Gaetano.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
It came straight from the horse's mouth. Okay. He said it. He didn't say, and I mentioned this, Gaetano, you were on this episode. He didn't say we want to win a Scudetto. We want to play, at least contend for the Scudetto. All right, you don't want your president making guarantees. But the only thing he said was balance the budget, or reduce wages and win top 4. So this season, certainly, that's all he wanted. That's all he really cared about, and I get why. It's important. I think. No matter what, obviously we the fan want to win the Scudetto, but I think the team, getting top 4 is very important for the society in general and for the future, going on. We need that money. We want to buy that coveted left back that we all been saying about. We want to buy we're going to need another midfield, maybe another backup strike. Well, we need this money. We need this money.
Ask you a question?
Yeah.
The whole panel. Just one simple question. If we would have kept the stability of the same coach, given Gattuso one full year, do you not think that a young coach with him, his tactics they could have been polished, but he can learn from that. You don't think that this year he doesn't get this team 1 point better?
I guess I'll answer first real quick because I read an article right before we came onto the show, and it kind of addressed this question. Now, does hey Adriano's here, welcome, boy. We, how does Gattuso perform an extra year? How does Gattuso perform with the Lobotka we see and Anguissa?
Will never
Do we
happen.
get Anguissa? If that's the case? Does he keep Bakayoko? I don't know. Does Lobotka get in shape and want to continue to play for the team? We I was complaining about Fabian all year that Gattuso didn't want to put him close to the goal. Do we see these kicks from Fabian? It's those little things, but at the same time, do we see this collapse in quality from our wings? Do we see an injury again from Osimhen? Do we see maybe Insigne's last season was a tough act to follow for himself, but
Insigne loved Gattuso.
He loved Gattuso, and Gattuso kicked him in the ass to make him the leader that he was the second half of that season. Do we see that? I think Zielinski was 10-10 last season, boys. Was that right? Yeah. Now he's fucking, who knows what he is now? Do we see these things? And that's where my curiosity lies. So I don't know if we could answer these questions, but I think it's the questions you can't, right, Johnny? I mean,
that's my thing. We're only 1 point.
I mean, Spalletti was a safe hire. It makes sense. We're 1 point difference.
I'm also unsure of how we would have handled this situation with Gattuso in January when we had the AFCON and injuries compiled into one. I almost think that with Spalletti, I think our complaint with Spalletti is at times we're too calm of a squad. Like we're almost too calm, right? We want to be more. Yeah, we're too defensive. We're too conservative. I feel like he also gives that mindset off because he seems like a very calm guy, which in a situation like that with all the injuries and AFCON combined, maybe you want a calm guy to just ensure that the team's going to be all right and we can pull some results together. Whereas Gattuso, you get this circus vibe. It's a little bit chaotic and, like aggressive. And I just don't know if he would have been able to have us righted through that time. And who knows? Like me, I don't know if we would have had a guaranteed top four if Gattuso was our coach again. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's too many what ifs.
There's too many what ifs.
Right. Too many what ifs. I mean, we have to go with what we have now, and we have to go with like what we have at this point in time. Insigne unfortunately has dipped in production this season. You can make a point saying that like, okay, maybe because like he played last season, then it was the Euros, and then immediately the season starts again, and you can make a case in point of that. You can also say the contract talks were also looming over his head for the first half of the season, his uncertainty of the future.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I guess we'll just touch upon Insigne. I'll be a little bit critical of him, and I'm not critical of him because he's going to Toronto. I'm critical of him because he's been the Napoli boy since day one, and if we're going to start looking at what the lackluster performance, we have to look at our captain. If our captain himself, he's scoring those penalties. He is scoring those penalties. Like, don't get me wrong. Like whenever we need him to come up to the spot, he does fumble the ball every once in a while, but recently he's been getting better on the spot. But if your captain himself, is not performing up to par, it kind of like, as much as you want to say, no, I'm a professional, I try my best to play my best game on the pitch and not let any other outside factors get into my way. If your captain's underperforming and he's still, the captain, he's still, getting those starts, he's still like, I don't know, being trusted. It kind of weakens the demeanor of the team. It kind of like, you go out on the field and you're like, well, okay, well, if he's phoning it in, I could phone it in too. And I wouldn't really get screamed at or yelled at, Maybe that's where the difference between Spalletti and Gattuso comes in, because Gattuso, yes, would hold those players accountable, saying, hey, hey, like, you're not performing. Wake up. Let's light that fire underneath your butt and get you going. But this year, there is no Grinta. But at the end of the day, I think that's one big factor. If your captain himself is not, in it, and he's not giving that fire to the team, it's hard to follow through or find that fire within you to actually even step up. So I don't know. That's just
Miguel was
just
saying
to
it's
piggyback quick off Johnny there though.
Mhm.
Like in the beginning of the season, Spalletti was being more proactive with his substitutions. He was reading the
Right.
game better.
Oh
And
yeah,
then all of a sudden it just went
went to
away.
shit.
And then guys have been out of form, and he keeps starting them over and over, and nothing's changing. I don't understand where the
Well, guys,
proactive Spalletti went. I don't know.
We're not in training, so we can't see what the fuck is going on the training pitch. You know, like he sees his guys day in and day out. If he's starting Fabian who's on one leg, there's got to be a reason. Like there's no other options. Like we want to see Denman. I don't want to see Denman start.
Elmas.
You know, okay, Elmas, and then would you have nobody coming off the bench to play the wing? Because that's
Politano. Politano got no playtime today.
What'd you
He put Elmas on the right to cover Lozano today. What for? You have Politano on the bench.
I don't know.
He could have helped Zanoli back there. I mean, that Politano's the guy you want on the field when you want to hold a lead. He's the guy. Him and Di Lorenzo. I mean, he's helps Di Lorenzo so much, whether it be offensively or
great
defensively.
tracking back.
Yeah, that's the guy you want. What was he waiting for? And I mean, yeah, you want the captain did okay today. He had an average performance, but nothing to warrant his substitution or taking Ozzy and him out. Now, or at least if you're going to take Ozzy and him out, give a few minutes, like you guys said earlier, with Mertens, see if they can produce another goal. What is this like? Oh, we got the one goal, now we're going to sit back shit. All right, you put in Juan Jesus. Clearly, you're saying we're going to defend. Right, that we're going to defend now. We got. What is that telling the teams? Like Mourinho and the team was probably like, all right, let's get these guys now. They're going to sit back and try to hold this 1-0 lead. I knew one goal was not going to be enough. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. We did it with Inter. We shit the bed with Cagliari and his three in the back. You know, we don't score against Spezia. We don't score against Empoli. I mean, like. These little things, we should have been clear winners of this league. I was dying. I was going to die on that hill about the Scudetto from what I saw in the beginning of the season, especially against Venezia when fucking Ozilem gets a red card. We keep our heads. Our captain stays in the game. We win. All right, it's Venezia. It's not the biggest team quality, but still, this is our first game of the season. You know,
we saw a lot of character though from the team in the beginning.
Right.
Like, those are the two things we saw. We saw a lot of fight back, and
we saw the plan B as well.
We saw that too. It's not that it totally went away because, like, Lazio, we went right after
teams figured us out.
Guys, we just went to Atalanta and won 3-1 a couple of weeks ago.
They're not the same Atalanta.
Okay,
Come on.
I mean,
they're not the same Atalanta.
But the thing is,
it's a tough
like,
place to play.
We showed fight back though, like with the Lazio game, even the Fiorentina game. Like we got a goal back. I mean. I'll admit that we've definitely shown more character this season than previous ones, and that's something I guess I'll credit to Spalletti. But at the same time, like I feel like we got to stop settling for like mediocrity. I feel that sometimes we settle for it too much. Like okay, and you could always propose the question: if we were here in the beginning of the season before a ball was kicked, would you take it? Okay, yeah, I take it because we're going to be in the Champions League. And Gianluca actually hit on this on Twitter today. But the way that it's gotten to this point, like the way that this season's panned out, it's not good enough. It's straight up disappointing.
Guys, we have no. This is a flawed team. It's not a perfect roster. We have no options.
But he said it's perfect though.
Well, he's lying. He's lying to you and he's lying to himself.
He's got to be lying.
Right. So
but we've always touted our depth.
There's no depth.
Just in the midfield. That's the only place there's depth.
We overrate our own guys.
Even our forwards, we got depth.
No, we don't.
But the only forward is
the exception of Patania.
The top three. The wingers we have depth.
But the
wingers they're managed.
Insigne's finished, right? Insigne's finished.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He's finished.
This season.
Right. This season, right now, he's finished. Right. Lozano coming back off a broken face. He hasn't been the same guy. Right.
Agreed.
Politano's hot and cold, and Elmas doesn't know where he's gonna play. So what depth? It's a depth that's in our head. It's not real.
But I feel like that's on the manager. Like that's on Spalletti.
But the depth is there. It's just are they in the right place? They're not, or are they injured? Which happened again this year.
I don't think we're as good as we think we are.
We had like 40 goals last year from our wings. How do we not have depth? Now this year they can't combine for double-digit goals from open play.
Right.
No.
I just feel like Osimhen is getting beat up all the time, all alone. We didn't see this at all last season, man.
Yeah, he didn't
We
play
didn't
that
see
much
it all. We're fucking Hail Marys all over the place all the time. And I know sometimes it works. I'm not saying it's a tactic that we shouldn't use, even if we use it 50% of the time. But where's the rest? They look fucking lost today, guys. I'm sorry. They look completely lost today.
So, Rob,
Insigne was in the middle. Guisa was up front in the middle. I was asking, I think did I come in the chat? I was like, guys, what formation are we playing? Because I was lost today. I couldn't understand it.
So do you think maybe it's probably like if Osimhen's getting they're getting no service up front, do you think maybe it's just a formation issue? Maybe we should play with more of us like an act, like for lack of a better term, somebody who's properly playing a center attacking mid to give him those better plays through the middle. If the wings are not servicing him very well, you think maybe somebody should probably drive the ball down low for him. Like, what do you think the solution is? Like, we have to, like, at this point, well, mind you, at this point in time, I'll be the pessimist, and you guys can yell at me, and I deserve if you yell at me. I think the Scudetto's lost at this point.
It's done.
I think
it's any hope for it was gone.
Let's just
today.
say it now.
It was done against Milan.
Yeah,
It's done.
It was done against Milan. Yeah,
I mean, the Milan game, it's like, then the Fiorentina game was really put the nail in the coffin. But
it's not even for the points, Johnny. It's more for like you see these performances. Mathematically, we can still win.
Years and years, it's always been like this. Like we discussed. I messaged you today. Like I think at this point last year, because I remember we had you guys on for the Calcio guys. I brought it up. I feel like as if this team just doesn't have the killer instinct. And never has that killer instinct. And it's year in and year out. Like, these games, these big games that we need them to just dig in deep and win, and they don't. And it sucks because even earlier this season, there were those games where all of a sudden, like, holy shit, like the Lazio game is one big example, but there was a game where I can't remember which team we were playing against, but we're down 1-0, and then Osimhen gets the goal off the cross, off a header, and ties the game. And like I'm like, if last year the Cagliari game, if last year this was a loss, the fact that we salvaged a point from this, it showed good signs, and now it's like.
Well, Johnny, that's a great point because you look back at our recent history. I mean, just to point out a few easy games, right? Fiorentina in 2018, we shit the bed.
Yeah.
Right? Last year, Verona at home to make Champions League, we shit the bed. This year, multiple occasions, right? Milan at home, Fiorentina at home the other day, and now today. In our recent history, we could look back 4, 5, 6 years, and you could find 3 or 4 games where you're just like, what has happened? How did we not win this game? Like, this is the game that you gotta come out and attack the whole game. And just listen, a draw does no. Who cares if you lose? A draw and a loss, it makes the same thing. You got to go for the throat.
You got to go for the win.
Go for the throat.
I remember when I think when things were much better in Napoli, were 7-0. We had a big chat like this, rant like this, and everyone. I think it was everyone but me and Raf was saying that Napoli was going to win the Scudetto, and just me and Raf we didn't want to do that yet. And you see why. I mean, like we've seen it, and after the Milan game, I've made a new decree for myself. I will never get excited about Napoli Scudetto until we're actually in first place. I've seen us be 1 point behind the first place too many times because when we play them, every time we seem to shit the bed. Besides the Lazio game, when's the last time Napoli has won a game where they needed to win?
Well, that's the other thing too, though. When you pose the question, if we were here before the season started, would you take it? We've had like 5 weekends in the past 2 months where we could have went top, and we fucked it in 4 out of the 5 times, I think.
Yep.
So when you look at it that way, it's like, Jesus Christ, like how many more gifts can this team have been given? And I'm with Biz on the fact that, and Gaetan, like I don't dispute your point where you're saying our depth is not as good as maybe we think. That could be true. But I'm with Biz in the fact that I predicted us coming third this season, but I only do that for like jinxing purposes. I besides Inter, I think we're the best team in the league on paper. And arguably even like this year better than I thought maybe we would be better than Inter. So for me, like this idea that it's so far-fetched to win. I don't know. To me, like Leicester winning the Premier League when they won the Premier League is way crazier than posing that we could win the league, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think we have a really good team. I just think that overall this season, like it was a combination of shit in the bed, choking, underperforming, and some individual errors, obviously. Honestly, more. I don't really think we got unlucky this year at all. I think where we are is what we deserve, to be honest. And it's
I'm with
sad
that.
because it could have been more. It definitely could have been more.
It could have been a
It's
lot more.
questionable.
And I think that
But here's the sad reality. I feel like as if sorry for interrupting. Just want to
No.
No, yeah.
Go right on.
I sad reality is if you're not going to do it. I said it today. Like if you're not going to do it this year, you're not going to do it for the next 5 years. We're losing too many major pieces.
I saw that.
And this upcoming off season, where it's
I
like
couldn't agree more.
it's you're gonna if you're gonna have to rebuild the team. You're not gonna. You could probably manage to maintain and fix some bandage team to maintain a top 4 spot, but if you're going to make a champion push, like I feel like as if before you even worry about winning the Champions League title, win your domestic title first.
Let's not even talk about Champions League.
If you want to think about European title, Europa League or whatnot, think about winning something domestic first.
Johnny, we got to spend $400 million before a year on salary.
But that's what I'm saying. Nobody in Italy has that money, by the way. Even if Milan gets bought for €1 billion, and they say, "Oh, we're going to spend 300 million in the first offseason." Even at that, I don't think it's enough to keep up with the Prem. But anyways, that's another topic for another day. If it's not this year, guys, we're just gonna have to sit back and just enjoy top 4 finishes for next. I mean, hey, I won't complain for top 4 finishes. You're getting Champions League runs every season, but if you want a Scudetto push, we're gonna have to wait a good amount of time, and it sucks. And
do you really think Juventus is going to be this bad again next year?
They're not. They're not.
Roma's probably going to get better. It's just going to get harder.
But it's going to get harder for everybody, though. No,
at the end of every season, how other teams are going to get better? We don't know.
Sorry, what was that, Gaetano?
I'm not with it all the way because Napoli can get better. We don't know if somebody can come and buy us. We don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh yeah, if someone comes and buys us, but on under 80, you said it yourself out of the horse's mouth.
Right.
Balance the books. We got to balance the books.
But that's this season. I understand this season. Funny, ironically
it's not the only time he said it.
No, of course he says it every year, probably. But out of all times he said it, I mean, or rather, the way ADL has been running this team, you would think at COVID, a time where there's like a big financial issue going on again in Italy, where these teams are struggling, this is your moment to shine. This is your moment to say, okay, I made these financial decisions. The team relatively stable. Okay, we're able to pay our players. We don't have to make a fire sale. De Laurentiis, this was your moment to prove your point. This was it. And you went safe to get your top 4, to get your 150. De Laurentiis was going to get that top 4 no matter who Mickey Mouse could have coached this team. We would have got the top 4. When are we going to start giving these players some credit? Osimhen is a beast.
Mickey Mouse is a
beast. We got one of the best center backs. Ospina's still on his. What was that?
Mickey Mouse is underrated, by the way.
Mickey Mouse is underrated. With Goofy with him in the back, man, it would have been a force. We would have Disney across our chest, bro. Fucking, with the fucking ears and shit. The light blue ear hat, something with the big
fucking De Laurentiis showing up to the fucking stadium with the ears.
Right, like instead of this, it would have been like Mickey Mouse's head instead of Kappa. Like we're sponsored by Disney. So, but no,
why sound like food?
I do a great. I don't know if I can do it now, but I do a pretty good ADL impression. I'll have to record it.
Siete delle merde.
Sono io il vostro Mickey Mouse. No, but no, no, but serious. Out of all the fucking years that you want to be financially stable and take it to the man, this was it. So ADL, even you shit the bed right now. I mean, come on.
So Biz, besides the coach, who was you brought in, player-wise?
Backup striker. Patania's trash. He should have never. All right.
I said Patania's been trash since his foul days, but
come on, man. Come on. That's
why do we act like Mertens is only a backup striker? We treat him almost like that. That's all he is now.
Yeah, no, he's much more than that.
He can't get on the field.
He can't get on the field.
It's because you spent 70 million euros for Osimhen. I mean, you have to justify that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on Osimhen. I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me. I love our Prince, but it's like, okay, you spend that much on Osimhen, you better use him, and you got to justify the purchase. So, yeah, sucks because when Mertens took that center forward spot, what was it? How many goals did he get that year? The
Guys,
his first season.
listen
18, I think.
for everybody
Yeah.
in the chat, because there's a lot of it. For everybody saying that everybody's priority is, ADL's priority is just UCL. I call bullshit. Listen, every team in Italy right now's priority is Champions League, is top 4. It's $150 million just to qualify. All right, that's more money than winning a Scudetto. Guys, let's face it. Soccer has changed. We need to change with it. It's not a bad thing to say, hey, we're making the top 4. It's not a bad thing to be in the top flight of football, even though we're not winning. I understand. We are sexually frustrated. We haven't won a fucking trophy since 1990. I get it. I get the frustration. But, we are constantly competing. That's what's important, man. You got to look at it that way sometimes. We will win the trophy. We will win the trophy. We're going to win it.
I understand. You do. Your goal is, yes, it's 150 million. Where nobody wants to spit that in the face. You take that. But at one point, isn't your goal for more than that? Like in businesses all the time, they'll take on debt to make profit later.
But Napoli can't take that.
He doesn't want to.
Well, he's never doing that. He's not.
If you make a run in the Champions League, you make that times how much?
He's told you he's never doing it. He's told you.
But you're never going to win the Scudetto.
I'll say this much, Pete. We're kind of past the hour mark, so we'll cut out soon. Because ADL, we can have like 6 episodes on ADL. That's the problem. But
the Chronicles of ADL.
Right, it's exactly what it could be. I mean, this guy, we can come out one of those big ass books. There's like 6 of them in a series. That's fucking ADL's career. But I do believe he's hit somewhat of a ceiling. I do believe that maybe some more financial support. If this was like 94, yeah, maybe ADL would be winning cups right now. But it's not. We're going up against huge budgets.
He needs like a silent partner.
We don't have he needed those. The not even Bezos. He had the dude from the LA Dodgers that we were linked to. I don't know if that was probably a rumor. Johnson? No, I wish we had Magic.
Bring Magic.
Can he play left back? But like, certainly she can play number 10. I feel like Magic Johnson, right? He was dishing out the ball.
Oh, he's definitely he would definitely been a midfielder, yeah, for sure.
He would have been a midfielder, Magic Johnson. No, LeBron 100%. Is playing left back.
LeBron's playing center forward, just headers.
Right?
Biz, can we just like touch upon how your view on the team being lost and also just not let Spalletti get away with what happened today? I kind of want to bring up the Osimhen substitution a little, just because the way that we were playing the game. I don't know exactly when it started, right? But I know from the 90th to the 98th minute, we were just kicking to no one. Like we were just launching it to nobody. And I don't know exactly what minute that started at. I think it might have been like right before 80 or like in the low.
Around that time.
Right. And a guy with the pace and physicality presence of Osimhen, he's that one chance that if you're going to launch the ball, maybe we can retain possession. Right. And instead he brings Mertens on when it's like the last whatever minutes of the game. The game's almost like irrelevant at this point, because the way Spalletti's having the team play, which doesn't cater to Mertens' physicality or height, which is winning 50-50 aerial duels. Right. So basically, by taking Osimhen off and putting him on, he's saying every time we get the ball and we kick it forward and launch it to no one, we're just automatically going to give possession away and totally bank on the fact that we're going to continuously be able to absorb pressure. When Spalletti has also come out and said previously that this team doesn't really like to defend and they like to play with the ball more so than without the ball, which it doesn't take a genius to realize that. It doesn't take Spalletti saying that to know that. We all know that. We all know this team likes the ball, right? They like to be with the ball. So why are we taking out our only outlet in the way that Spalletti wants us to play? Like, I'm pissed already that he wants to play that way in the first place, but why make it 10 times shittier and give ourselves absolutely zero chance of retaining possession when we're just going to launch to Mertens or Elmas? And neither of them is going to win it. What's he doing?
Because old Italian people are assholes. That's why.
Fucking stubborn.
Come on, right? What the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't know how to answer you, Fran. I mean, like, I don't know how to answer you, bro. I don't know why you take your captain and the fucking $70 million striker out when you need to score goals. I don't know. I don't know why you leave the.
I'm cool with Lozano. coming out because at the
Lozano
time-
needed to come out. He had the
Yeah.
card.
He had
He
the
didn't-
card, and the
he
game
didn't-
was getting chippy. The way the game was going,
Yeah.
I got it. But,
Get
Lozano
it.
hit him with
but
the
why?
1-2.
But why not put Politano there? I don't know.
Again, this is an anomaly. I don't know why Elmas. That's not his position.
bad-
All right, he did it.
His
to
own dad
cover
didn't want him to
Paulo-
go in. Huh?
Right, seriously, right. Daddy
But
was like,
even-
"What are you doing?"
But
there?"
even
You
the
know?
Fiorentina match too, I didn't think that we played like awful in the Fiorentina match. I thought we played okay in the Fiorentina match.
I
But
think
even at
Fiorentina
times-
came down to the last decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the last non-pass or the last better that didn't go to the best option,
Right.
and that's
And
why
we didn't
see
we didn't
goals.
finish in the beginning, which
Right.
in my opinion the game could have been put to bed early. We
20 minutes, that game should
created,
have been over.
we created a ton of chances, but
Right.
but also though in periods of that Fiorentina game, we were how many times did I have to hear the commentator say like Koulibaly lancia la palla, like he's sending it up. And
Right.
like who's it go? It was going to nobody. It was going to
Dude.
nobody for periods of that Fiorentina game. We were just gifting them possession. And it goes back to your point where I don't know, Biz, like is the team just like off on the field? Do they not know what's going on, what runs to make? Do they
I
not
don't think
know
so.
can they not break the lines and connect
I-
by playing on the ground through the midfield? Do we have to skip the line every time and launch to literally Jesus Christ who's dead so isn't there?
Also
Like,
underrated.
Like yo, I have no idea, yo.
Can Jesus Christ play left back?
He's
If he
also
can't play
underrated.
He's a
left back,
goalie.
I don't
He
know who the hell
saves.
can, to be honest.
I mean, it's the $22 million question, Fran. I can't and I think this is where the frustration lies with everybody. Low kick. I think we weren't great against Fiorentina, but I feel like we were better against Fiorentina than we were against Roma. Just we couldn't connect.
I'd
as
agree.
much.
I would agree. I would say defensively, we were better today, especially because Koulibaly went off today. I mean, today
Certainly.
he went from having one of his worst games of the season last week to
Right.
one of the best ones today.
He was great.
Right.
Sure.
See,
But-
that he should have got the captain. That's what the team needed to be today. It's like, all right, we'll forgive you for Fiorentina, but like keep us in the mix. But it didn't happen. We're let down. We're coming to the hour 20, guys. So I want to cut out, right after this because I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But I mean, just overall, because it's so hard to answer, it's so frustrating, and it gives more fuel to this fire of the mentality of the team and the ADL and his ambitions. I don't subscribe that ADL doesn't want to win. I just don't subscribe to that, but that doesn't mean that he can't do a little bit more to help the team win. I will say that. Yes, we always have that saying that the smell starts from the fish's head, right, or something like that. So it comes from the top and trickles down. Yeah, but
You got two
I-
things wrong today, Ralph.
it's all right. Fuck it. I mean, like whatever. Google
Pretty
that
soon he's gonna
shit.
mix up both. It's gonna come straight from the fish's
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, the fish goes into the horse and then it comes out of his mouth. So
Actually, la bocca del cazzo. There you go.
el poco de- right. It's 10:30. We're good. Yeah, the censors won't mess
That's
with us
it.
too much. But no, but serious, and Dan, I'll read this here. It felt good seeing the Tifosi finally bringing the energy, and to see that 90-minute goal was heartbreak. I'm pretty sure Dan was at the game today. If
He
I'm
goes to
correct,
every
I guess so. Right, Dan is at Dan.
What
Dan
a
the
life!
fan.
I wish.
Right, Dan and Pan. Yeah, and it is hurting. It hurts. It sucks for the fans. I get it. But everything needs a little bit of an adjustment. Everybody can do a little something to make it better. But at the end of the day, it's the players around the field. They're the ones that got to produce. The coach has to set the manager has to set the system right. The manager has to motivate the players. They have to read the game. They have to make the big decisions. And ultimately, it comes down to them. It comes down to the leaders of the team trying. I know Koulibaly tried. Insigne, I guess, tried his best. But when you're taking out your star stallion, when you're not using your best goal scorer in Napoli history, when your midfield gets hurt and you can't seem to adapt, I mean, this is not De Laurentiis' fault. You can
Spalletti
blame
has
him
a
for some
pattern of
things.
doing that.
Can't blame him for losing this game because this team in the beginning of the season was a Scudetto team. And listen, all the and there was a lot of Interisti that reached out and was like, yeah, we saw the same shit on Inter with Spalletti. So I don't know who to believe. I don't know whose head should roll. But at the end of the day, our Scudetto fucking hopes are kind of done.
It's a wrap.
It's kind of a wrap. Maybe, all right, mathematically. I know if Rafa, if he's watching, is probably like, no, we still got it.
No. Rafa tweeted that it's done.
It's done. Wow.
Rafa,
It's over. End broadcast. Goodbye. Everybody go to bed. Goodbye. If fucking Rafa Rizzo says it's over.
He watched the match with his dad.
Yeah, he was
so it was automatically over, right?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever won when he's watched with his dad.
No.
I responded to his tweet today. I was like, I thought we went over this. No more matches with your dad.
That's fact. When we did the meetup, Dad was there too, and we lost.
Yep.
All right, boys. But hope everybody enjoyed it, guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. So much fun. Shout out to everybody on the audio listening, on the replay as well, watching on the replay, man. We do appreciate your support. Please give us a like. Please help us by sharing, by subscribing. It supports the channel. We are growing. We've seen tremendous growth over the past month or so. So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. We try to bring out all the Napoli minds as well as other teams' minds to the show to kind of give you to give you some entertainment. Thank you. You know, you sure know how to talk to a host, don't you? I take all compliments, fellas. You will get on this thing if I get a compliment. Thank you. I love validation. Nice job, fellas. Thank you to some of the new guys. Zeno, great show nonetheless. Forza, thank you guys. Thank you, Pasquale. Daniel, thank you. If Inter Mezzan ends up not winning, that would be a total collapse. Yep.
Congrats to them. They won it. It's a wrap.
Yeah. Gianluca, mediocrity. It's let's hope for bigger and better things. Let's hope for a silent partner to give fucking ADL some money so we could make those bigger moves.
Jeff Bezos,
we need Bezos, LeBron, Magic. I want Curry shooting from outside the box.
Bro, they all vacation to Naples. Like, what? Like, come on.
Right, yeah. Take your yacht. Ocho Cinco. Yo, guys, can we please start? I need everybody to like bombard tag Ocho Cinco to come on this show. We have been trying for weeks. We've been trying for like a year to get this guy on. And I get it, you know, big time. You don't want to come here. But I think he should. I think like people will love him. So Ocho Cinco, come on our show, please. Please.
Yes.
We're cool here. And you love Napoli. We love Napoli.
If he comes
it works. It works. Can we call him Cheeto Ocho Cinco? Like, oh, damn, you messaged him. Damn, you got him on the DMs, too. He's like, who this boy? Like,
Michele got blocked 3 times already. He keeps changing his username.
Oh, Chris, would you say this? He's not Chris. Johnny's not saying Forza Roma today. Okay,
I'm not saying.
We'll see him on the couch, show, guys.
I'm not gonna say it on a Napoli podcast.
Yeah, he wants to come back. Like
I wouldn't betray my grandfather's family. Like,
right. All right. There you go. You see that? You know, well, on the couch, show, guys. You know, it's his. You know, you can do it, but I gotta come back soon. I need another cap. I've been saying it. I don't know why. Johnny, talk to your boys.
I will. Trust me. We have a rotation. We try our best to get like fans of different teams on as much as we can, because it's like we don't want to just talk about our 4 teams. You know, we just want to have a good rotation and get other inputs. Cool. But definitely, you'll be on soon.
No, it's cool. I'll make fun of anybody you want, bro. Don't worry about it. But thank you to Fran. Thank you to Johnny from the Cacho guys. Gaetano, always a pleasure. Miguel Escota de Luzza. Always fun to have you here. And Peter Scala, thank you for coming in, sir, with us today. Thank you to the chat one more time. It's always a pleasure, man. You guys, grande chat. Big round of applause, man. You guys really make the show special, man. You know that. Shout out to the audio. Grande Cheeto Cornstalk. Cheeto Cornstalk will be our backup striker next season, hopefully. But we got to see about the image rights, right? If Carmine's going to release the image rights to Cheeto Cornstalk.